So far in our app, we have a label at the top and a text view at the bottom of our screen. Now we're going to look at a third kind of text view, and this is actually called a text field. And what's the difference between the two? Well, a text view shows you some text you can scroll through. A text field allows you to enter some text as the user, and when a user clicks on it, the keyboard will automatically pop up so they can enter some data. So over in our storyboard and our toolbox, let's drag in a text field and drop it in somewhere within our view controller. We have some text already filled in. Let's click it. Let's change the name and let's call this text field. Then let's scroll down and we have this special item here called placeholder text. So let's put in enter sentence. This placeholder text is going to show when there is no text in the box. So up inside of our text field properties, let's remove this text, and you'll notice the element actually now has a light grey background with our placeholder text in it. Let's give this label a width. So click it once, click the bar at the bottom, hit width, and let's expand its size a little bit. Let's have 150 for that one. Right, you'll notice the designer has propped its orange box at the top there, and that's because this isn't yet constrained. That's why everything is still orange. What we're going to learn in this lesson is how to constrain things relative to one another. So I want this box to actually be constrained relative to my label. So I'm just going to drag my box down, drop it wherever. I'm going to drag my pin item up to the button. I'm going to hover it over the bottom of the button. I can also set it relative to the middle or the top. And then I can click the icon that appears there, and I can change its position relative to the label. So I can drop this down a bit. Let's make this about 40. We have a width. So this is going to be positioned up at the top. It's still orange because we need one more constraint that constrains it horizontally. So let's create one that pins it over to the side of our view. Let's give it a padding of 10. Now let's update everything. And once we do that, everything should turn blue, so we know where things are going to be. On buttoners here, I'm just going to change this text to something like that. A very basic indication of where the button is. Right, so we've learnt in this section how to create a text field where our user can enter some text. We've also learnt how to constrain it relative to another element on the screen. And this is not too dissimilar to CSS if you've used that before. Okay, what if I actually wanted to have this sentence box stretch across the whole screen? Well, what I would do is I would remove the width element, so select it and just hit backspace. And it disappears, everything turns orange. Then I would pin the end of it to the other side and change that to about 10 in the constant box. There we go. So now we have a full width label to enter our sentence. In the next lecture, we're going to look at a button and how to pop that into our little app and then learn how to do something when the button is clicked. I'll give you a clue. We're going to take that sentence and we're going to drop it into the text field below, or the text view rather.